but hot. We are all familiar with the controversial topic of legalizing marijuana. On the negative side, accessibility of controlled substances in the early stages of childhood is the key to a life of corruption and addiction. For example, how do most people get their first experience with alcohol? More common in our time, people get their chance at parties. Kids will raid a parent's liquor cabinet. Adults who openly drink around children at a young age allow the child to observe a routine. What happens if federal law welcomes marijuana into a home and parents practice smoking regularly around their young children? A child will watch their parents and absorb their actions like a sponge. A child that observes their parents smoking will consider it acceptable to do themselves. Using marijuana at a young age can result in structural and functional deficits of the brain. This could cause a child to develop weakened verbal and communication skills, lowered learning capabilities, and a shortened attention span. Is an hour of ignorant bliss for a selfish adult worth the misfortune of a child?
While Jack makes some valid points on the cons of legalization, he also makes the assumption that the now legal pot smokers are automatically bad parents. But parents that would be so irresponsible as to leave marijuana in the reach of their children would be bad parents regardless of the legal status of marijuana. First of all, marijuana releases a non-aggressive high on the user in most cases. Generally, a driver that is intoxicated on alcohol is much more dangerous than a driver intoxicated on marijuana. Second, gangs that traffic marijuana now would have no chance or reason to traffic a drug that is legal. So clearly, other crime rates related to this drug would be reduced as well. While looking at the social benefits of legalization, we must also take into consideration that marijuana would be still legalized, regulated, and enforced in the same way alcohol is regulated now.
So, over the past couple of days, we have spent hours sitting in these seats, listening to amazing people give their advice. They do it so that we can have a higher chance of success. This might sound familiar. Your time on this earth must be spent wisely. Your brain is the greatest computer that you have. We as a group know that the misuse of marijuana puts people off track for a while. The legalization of marijuana would cause an increased dependence aside from medical use. Basically, temporary relief becomes a lifelong addiction. Think of how many people have had great relationships destroyed due to the interruption of this drug. And time? Time is the key that people use to open the doors of success. Time is taken away once marijuana would be legalized. And if you think procrastination is bad right now, just imagine how out of control it would be if pot was legalized. People fight every day for our independence. Would you be willing to give up that fight for something so simple as marijuana?
While the social aspect of this debate is a little edgy, the economic side is more clear-cut. If marijuana were to be legalized, it would become the major cash crop in California. Government regulation of marijuana will lead to a competitive agricultural market and a safer product. Tobacco was the crop that first bolstered the early American colonial society, and a cash crop similar to tobacco would certainly boost California's. Of course, marijuana would be taxed to the point of creating a major profit for the state. This increased cash flow would help alleviate the extreme budget crisis. Also, state prisons, which require $50,000 per inmate per year, are at 150% capacity. The majority of this overflow is due to the influx of marijuana-related crimes. It is estimated that 2/3 of offenders will be back in prison within 5 to 7 years for the same offense, wasting taxpayer dollars. Legalizing marijuana would free up space in prisons for those who truly deserve to be there and free up tax dollars for more important things such as funding education programs.